folks. Hello. You open it up. You open it up, my friend.
Listen, I've been running around like a crazy person trying to get. I'm camping. I just got set up. I'm halfway set up. I'm set up enough for this. I'll have to finish some stuff a little bit later. So it's been running around, but we're good to go. Good to go.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
It is Lamar and Bob and Heather
Yep.
tonight. Sheri is doing a fundraiser, and so she's unable to join us tonight. And so I'm kind of excited because Lamar and I can talk about Corvettes, and
We're
we
off
can
the
talk.
leash.
Yes, we're off the leash. We are off the leash. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's not going to get crazy. I don't even know if I've ever been really crazy my whole life, but anyway, it's going to be different. We want to thank you very much, folks, for joining us. So tell us about where you are, Lamar, and what's going on.
I've got some real good friends of ours. They're actually in our small group. Their daughter is getting married up in Swannanoa, and that's in the western part of North Carolina. It's on the other side. It's on the eastern side of Asheville. And we're staying at a campground up here, a KOA campground. And we pulled in just about an hour ago and got backed up and leveled up. And I had to get out the heated water hoses because it's going to be 22 degrees tonight. So,
oh, is it really?
Yes, that's what they're calling for. Every night this weekend, it's going to be 22 degrees. And so if you don't have heated water hose, you don't have no water.
Yeah. The heated water hose, is that like a marital aid or something, or what is the heated water hose? I'm unfamiliar with that.
It's sort of a bulky water hose, but it's got electrical tape wrapped. Yeah. I mean, electric cable wrapped all around it, and then that's covered, and you plug it up, and so it heats everything. So it keeps the water hot.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
It won't freeze.
I have to interrupt for 1 second.
Yeah.
Because Tony gave us something extra special to debut and give away tonight.
Oh, awesome.
So we're giving away 5 very special Bob and Sheri Christmas ornaments.
Wow.
5 of them. So he went all out for you guys.
Man, that's great.
So every commenter in the chat, you're automatically entered. So keep commenting, and you'll be entered to win one of the 5 very special brand new Bob and Sheri ornaments.
And I can't tell you, I've worked with a lot of program directors would love to see me hanging from a tree. So
by rope.
So I want to ask you, you're in the RV and maybe and it's a big vehicle. I mean, I've seen the vehicle. It's a big vehicle. How difficult is it to maneuver that thing? Because I don't think I could ever get that. That's one of the things that held me back.
I think it's very hard for somebody, but I'll say this again. This is a camper that's pulled by a truck. I pull it with my truck, and there's no special license for that. But what I've always said is you can go to any RV place and sit out in the parking lot, and you can watch an 85-year-old man walk in there, drop down $500,000 and get a 40-foot. I mean, it's like driving a Greyhound bus with no training, no exam, just go out the door. So I'm surprised that there's not more problems than there are. But with this, for me, it's different because I was in the beer business for 47 years. And a lot of that was driving tractor trailers. So for me, it's okay. It's not a big deal for me. I'm, but that's anybody can do it. You're nervous the first few times, but you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. It's the backing into a tight area in a campground. I think that would freak me out.
The longer the trailer, the easier it is to back. I would rather back this into a tight space than to take one of those little trailers that's got a lawnmower on it, like a 4-foot trailer. It's way more difficult because every time you move the steering wheel on a small trailer, I mean, it's really, you know what I'm saying?
It's jumping around.
A longer trailer, it doesn't react so quickly. It takes a little bit longer, and it's really easier.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. Well,
and
very
I've got a
nice.
backup camera on the back of the trailer, so as I'm backing it up, I can see what's behind me. So
Yeah. Yeah. I still don't think I could do it, but I'm glad you're doing it. And you're really enjoying it, aren't you? The old
yeah,
RV lifestyle.
you can't see it. It's starting out. We're sitting right on a lake, and there's ducks and stuff out here. And I don't know why ducks are still here. Don't they go somewhere? Maybe they don't.
Um,
Ducks don't. Ducks don't go in the winter, do they? They stay.
um, I don't know. We're
Because
going to
people
have
duck
to.
hunt this time of year, so I guess.
Someone will comment tonight about where ducks go. I guarantee you that. So I don't want to get into anything serious tonight at all, but are you all not just kind of surprised at what's going on with Justin Timberlake? I think he took his family, and was I wrong when I heard Sherry telling me today that they went to Mexico because
Yeah.
people are just so
And he's
pissed off at him?
canceled. He's canceled. I don't know if he's canceled at all, but he's canceled part of his tour.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but see, I don't know if I would do that or not, because I don't know. It's they know more about it because they've been in the entertainment business on that scale. But I'm thinking the more you jump and run, the more talking about it there's going to be.
I think things are so different now because of social media and how
Yeah.
big this story with Britney Spears has gotten that he
Yeah.
really didn't have much of a choice.
I think Heather is right.
You're right. You're
I
right.
think Heather is right because, you know, you heard a little bit about it when the tease for the book came out, but then it really came out, and people were saying, you know, he skated with the Janet Jackson thing when he pulled the top down and it's Nipplegate and all of that bullshit. And she caught the hard end of it. And now, you know, Britney's coming out. I don't even want to. Everybody knows what went on
Yeah.
with that. I hear what you're saying as far as if are you calling more attention to it by taking your family and going to Mexico? I hear what you're saying.
But if you go to Mexico, you don't have to answer a bunch of questions.
You don't. You
And
don't.
if you've got the money, and he does, let's be honest, he can go somewhere and get in a private place, and him and his family could sit there and watch Netflix, never watch the news, never
Yeah.
be out on the street and have a microphone put in your face. I mean, so he can do that, and
Yeah.
he can do it for a while or for a long
Yeah.
time, I'm sure.
Well, what do you think? I mean, Heather, as a woman, do you think he can recover from all of this?
I don't think you can recover if you're not actually sorry. And I think, you know, a lot of those guys in that generation of early 2000s, late 90s, they had this mentality, you know, and there was a lot of different treatment by, you know, the media at large, but also by these different male celebrities of women. So I don't know that he can recover unless he's actually sorry. I've
Yeah.
seen some people recover from past bad behavior, and you
But
know, it
before you can recover from bad behavior, you have to stand up and face the bad behavior. You have to take it on. And if you're legitimately America, we will forgive a ton. We love to forgive somebody. But for us to forgive them, they can't jump in the limo with the dark glass and speed off and go somewhere and try to hide. You got to walk right up to it. You've got to face it and say, you know what? I was younger. I was stupid. I was selfish. I was a jerk. I was a selfish jerk. And if I had it to go over again, I hope I would have done something different. I can't change it, but I did it and I own it. And I'm so sorry for it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and that makes total sense. Like you can think of, you know, when Hugh Grant got caught with the hooker in Los Angeles in the BMW, and they went on the Tonight Show, and Jay Leno said, "What were you thinking?" And Hugh Grant, you know, stood up to it, got beyond
Take the
it.
licks. You got to take the licks.
Yeah, took the licks. But there, you know, as tacky as that was, there's a big difference between what Britney is saying about what they went through and, you know, being with a prostitute. So
yeah, it's gonna come down to one of those he said, she said things, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
people are going to fall on either side. He'll still have a career because people with past still end up having careers. They will still have
We do love to
following.
forgive you.
We do.
Lamar's right. In
We do.
America, look at Fergie when she got caught with the Texas guy sucking his toes or whatever it was in a pool. When, when she was
You
still
really
married,
scared me there for us.
she gets divorced. And what's the first thing that she does? She comes to America to sell, I don't know, some dishware. She walked right by the studio. Sheri and I were on the air, and she was waving. I was going, no, 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 come in, come in, come in. And she just kept going. But her quote was, I love America because they give a girl a break.
Yeah, I mean, no,
And we do.
I mean, if there is contrition,
Right.
there's always room for forgiveness. I mean,
Right.
that's how it's supposed to be. But
So
if you take off and run, it's a little different.
Yeah. Let's lighten it up with we're almost in the holidays. This is the first time I had a sweater on all the year, I think.
Yeah. Are you a big sweater guy?
What I'm wearing now, I bought this because someone that I was with for a while said you need to wear V-necks because they make you look taller. And I used to wear crew necks, you know. She said, "No, you need to wear a V-neck because it'll make you look taller." I didn't notice the advance in my height putting on the V-neck.
But it's like stripes, horizontal, vertical. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reasoning
You think
behind
there's
it.
something
See,
there?
I would have to wear V-neck because I would feel choked. I would feel choked with a crew neck.
With a crew neck.
I don't like a crew. But I don't wear sweaters. I don't wear sweaters. I should. I don't know why my wife doesn't buy me sweaters. Do I not look good in sweaters?
It's
She
obviously
says I look
her
good in
fault.
sweaters, but she don't ever buy me a sweater.
The thing is, when I was growing up in Connecticut, where this time of the year, I was just talking to Mary about this the other day. At Halloween, I can remember being on the school bus at Halloween, and up north, the school buses were not heated, or if they were, they had little
they weren't
tiny
heated.
heaters
Yeah, they
that
weren't
maybe
heated
the
here.
bus driver's feet got, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
the rest of us,
we wanted him to be able to steer and move his legs. That was important for the bus driver.
right.
Yeah.
But I can remember going from school to be dropped off in East Lyme, Connecticut at this time of the year, right around Halloween, and it was freezing. So I would wear wool sweaters. Now, I don't live in Connecticut anymore. A nice cotton sweater is about all I need. But to answer your question, yeah, I do like sweaters. But you know what I really like? I like a cool jacket, like a little leather jacket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like a little jacket, kind of like
I'm
an
big on the
Elvis
jacket.
thing.
I don't have a lot of jackets though.
You don't?
I bought a good winter jacket. And I know this is going to sound whatever. I bought a really nice Carhartt jacket. Now, not the normal Carhartt jacket. That is that beautiful color of tan or whatever that is. I bought something a little bit different, but it is waterproof. It's very warm.
Yeah.
It's got a great hood on it. I mean, when it's really, really, really cold, it's a great jacket.
That's great. Somebody just said, is Sheri going to make it tonight? No, she's doing a fundraiser for a library. So she won't be with us, but stay right there because we're going to give away some Bob and Sheri ornaments with the whole crew on it, Christmas ornaments, 5 of them to give away. Can you show them again to the folks?
Yeah.
Do you have it right in front of you right there?
I've got to get one of those.
I
Bob, do you have one of those?
I don't, no.
I don't either.
They're brand new.
There
This
it is.
The first ever, like, anyone seeing them. So
Look
this
at that thing.
brand
I'm proud of us.
spanking new.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
it has
great.
the logo on the other side. So Tony went all out for you guys, like I said. Got you the good
Boy, there's
stuff.
a first. There's a first. Tony went out all out for us. We couldn't get a full orange juice traveling before.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess we're doing great now then, right? We're doing great.
Yeah. Evidently, things are looking up.
So my wife, Mary, is right behind me in the kitchen right now. And she said, I'm going to make dinner tonight. Because usually when I do this on the happy hour, we closed down, and I just eat a pizza. But she said, no, 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 I got some chicken, I got some mushrooms. And I think it's because we got some new knives delivered to the house a couple of days ago.
I love a new knife. I
Oh,
love a new knife.
and I cut up some vegetables and some onion for my stir fry. What? You forget how cool it is to have a really great knife.
Now, with your knife, let me ask you this: have you got, like, if you get a knife, have you got the honing tool for the knife?
I don't have that. No, I've never
the
used that.
honing tool changes everything. It's not a sharpener, but what happens is, if you could microscopically look at your knife blade, it bends. It's all bent out of shape, and so edge is not really used. So if you run it down the honing blade both sides 5 or 6 times, it straightens the blade out so that the cutting edge is out. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Thin. All right, I don't care how great metal, what kind of metal you use. The thinnest part that is the sharpest is very thin metal. So as you're cutting things, it can easily get laid over to the side.
Yeah,
and be very careful when you're doing this right here, that chopping deal.
Yeah,
you're laying the blade sideways. So what you have to do is before I cut anything, I pull the honing bar out, and I run it down both sides, 4 or 5 times. And because I tell you what, if you take your knife and before you do it and cut into an onion or something like that, and then you take the honing thing and straighten it out and then cut in, it's a completely different deal.
I thought the honing blade was for sharpening it.
No, it is not. It straightens out the blade, so it brings it back into line.
Yeah.
When we went to Japan this last time, I brought back some ceramic kitchen knives.
I've seen those. What's the deal with those?
They are so sharp. I mean, you can cut a tomato so thin you can read the newspaper through it. I mean, you can really, and I don't want a tomato quite that thin, but I don't like a big thick tomato. I would rather have 3 slices of thin tomato than one big one. I like thin slices. And onions
the whole idea, I've seen those like online when I was looking. I bought them for Mary. I've seen them online, and I went, ceramic knife. What is that?
Ain't no joke. They are sharp. Oh, buddy, they are sharp. They're sharp. They're very sharp.
Very nice. Very nice. So when you cook, you use those, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I use all kinds of different knives for different things. I mean, but I love to cut stuff up. It drives Carla crazy because I'm very meticulous on the cutting. Like all the onions, I want them to be, each piece of onion needs to be the same size so that when I saute them, they will all get done at the same time. You can't have like a big piece of onion and a little piece of onion. If you got a bunch of you know what I'm saying? They don't get done at the same time.
How do you cut an onion? How do you cut an onion so you don't cry?
Well, you can put salt on the end of your tongue if you want to, but you got to keep your tongue stuck out. So
no, but there's a way to cut them, and I've forgotten exactly how to do it. Mary showed me
something about to the root or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal about onions that make you cry. If the onion makes you cry, it's an old onion. It's older.
Really?
Yeah. The fresher the onion is, the less likely it is to make you cry. Now, do you
same thing with a woman? The same thing with a woman I found.
No, I know some young women that would make you cry, Bob.
Actually, that's true. Yeah. I just said, what? I take that back. Heather has the right line. I want to flip that, actually. I want to. Oh, I've known a few, too.
All right, Bob. When you dice up an onion, how do you do it? How do you cut it?
I do it the wrong way. I take the damn thing and I cut it right down, right down the middle. I think Mary said you go at it through the top and you do some sort of thing. I wish you would come in here. And you won't cry.
I don't worry about the crying. I just worry about the easiest way for me. I went to a cooking thing and this guy showed, and I never thought about it. You take the onion and you cut it in half from root to tip. Okay, so it's in half. Okay, you peel off the outer layer of skin, cut and leave the onion and leave the root on. On the other end, cut a little piece off, get it ready to cut. Then you take the knife, and as you've got a half an onion laying down, you just slice it down to the cutting board all the way around, just all the way down. So you've got slices like that.
Right.
And once you do that, then you just start slicing from the end and you get perfect pieces.
There you go. Christy Samples Olds just said, I've been making my husband cry since we were teenagers. Well, we have the
Susan
the
Moore
holidays.
says put it in the freezer for 5 minutes and you won't, before you cut it.
Yeah,
you won't cry.
one of our viewers saw that too. Yeah, 5 minutes. Well, we have the holidays coming. I mean, they're here, aren't they?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're here.
Yeah.
How did they get here?
A lot of cooking goes on in Thanksgiving. That's a lot of cooking.
I don't know. I bet there's a lot of people who are with us tonight who experience this. I was with my girls and my two grandchildren a few days ago, and I said, "What are you all doing for Thanksgiving and for Christmas?" Right? And last Christmas, everybody came to our house, and we had matching pajamas, which I really wasn't too excited about. But after I saw the picture, it was really cool, and Mary got it, you know. Yeah. So this year, I'm having to deal, like many of you out there, with the fact that my grown children also have spouses who have parents, and they live in different parts of the country.
Yep.
And so now we have to figure out who's coming to their house. Are they going to the house of the parents of their spouses? Who's going to be alone? Who's going to be here? It is so involved. And then if you get one of the parents who are last minute people, everything is up in the air, and you don't know what you're going to be doing on Thanksgiving or even on Christmas. And that's what I'm dealing with right now.
It's hard. And when you've got multiple people, it's not like you can switch it every year because it's odd and even. You see what I'm saying? Everybody is not going to want to switch at the same time. I mean, it's a hard deal. It is a hard deal.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're going to try to play it by ear this year. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to drive myself crazy trying to get the perfect gift for the perfect person. I'm going to either write a check and then spend my actual wrapping gifts on the little kids.
See, here's what we've run into. Think about this. Between Carla and I, 5 children. Each one of those children has a significant other, wife, or whatever. Okay. So now, whatever our budget was for 5 kids, now that turns into 10. And then we have 8 grandchildren. That turns into 18. The numbers, they don't add up.
They don't.
The budget that you've had for Christmas for years and years and years, it doesn't add up because you went from 5 to 18. So that's over 3 times as many. As best I can tell, I don't have 3 times as much Christmas money to spend.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What you going to do, boy?
Christmas is about them little babies. Everybody else.
A couple of years ago, my family, we only buy for the under 18s. So any of the little kids still in high school, everybody under 18. And then, if you make handmade gifts, that's one thing, but we don't really buy.
And see, we swear by this. We swear by this, but here's what's a problem for me and Carla. And Bob, you may have the same situation. We're like, okay, this year, here's what we're going to do. Everybody gets a budget, and we're going to split that up between their significant other and the children, and we're going to work this and this and this and this. And the week before Christmas, we're just out buying stuff because I enjoy on Christmas watching people open a gift. I enjoy it. It is the joy. I love to see people get a gift. And it's ridiculously expensive. But when it gets down to that last week, oh my gosh, we go out. Carla will say, okay, I've got everything bought. Last week she'll go, well, I'm going to get this. And I'm going to get what, and then it just it just goes crazy. It goes crazy because the idea of people not having stuff to open on Christmas
Yeah, that's
drives
it.
me nuts. It
No,
drives me nuts.
that is exactly it.
I could not get anything. I promise you, because I'm the hardest person in the world to buy for, because if I really wanted it, I've already got it. I mean, I've
Yeah,
got it. I mean, I
yeah.
go get it. I've got it. So I'm impossible to buy.
Roxanne Martinex said, "We draw names for adults and we do the gifts for the kids." That
We need to try that this
that's
year.
well,
That's perfect.
let me tell you, it works because as a kid, I can remember it was the greatest Christmas of my life. We went to my Uncle Jerry, God bless him's home, and the deal was it was the first year, I think it was around 9 or 10, and it was the first year that I realized what the deal was, that they all the adults picked a name and they would go out and get one gift, and then all the adults would get a gift for the kids. And it started with my aunt Jo, who is the eldest in the family. She would open up the first gift of the adults. I mean, the kids would get theirs first, but then the adults, it went that way. So all you had to do is focus on one person in the family and get some gifts. I mean, you get some gifts for your own kids, but get, you know, a few gifts for the other children, the nieces and the nephews. And it was so wonderful to watch because there were so many gifts. Most of them were children.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was still that pile of gifts under my uncle's tree. And it was so much fun that way.
We need to try the name thing. I would love to do that because I still want to buy, and it would be great because you draw that name, and then now you've got this person that you're going to buy something for, and you can customize. You can choose just that right gift.
Yeah.
And you don't, because it's hard if you got a ton of people. I love that idea.
Well, why don't if you like buying gifts so much, why don't you buy me something? Right?
You're so hard to buy for, Bob.
Oh no, I'm not. I'll tell you what I want. I want a nice new pair of black Hoka sneakers. Hoka.
I don't have those. Are they good? You like them?
Oh. People say that they are, for old people, but they are one of the hippest things that you can buy today. They are off the charts. There are stars in Hollywood.
I see them everywhere.
They're the most. It's like you are walking on a pillow, and they're very. They make you a little taller. My wife is 3 inches taller than I am, so I pull those bad boys on. I feel pretty good about doing that. They're $170, so they're not really cheap. But if you get me that, I will get you a Bob and Sheri Christmas ornament that you can put on your tree.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I would.
I think I come out the winter.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah. I don't know. I wear the same tennis shoes. I wear the same model of Asics tennis shoes. I've been doing it for 20 years.
You need to go out and get the Hokas. I'm just telling you right now. The problem with those shoes are most of the colors are just insane. They look like an acid trip. But if you can find the right one, they're really good. I was so excited this afternoon. On Facebook, I joined this group, and it's the worst album covers of all time group. And you and I talked about it on the air with Sheri.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're just joining us, Sheri's at a fundraiser for a library system right now, so that's why she's not here. So there's something about album covers that are cheesy out of especially like the 1970s, where men's clothing especially was so horrible, 1980s. And a lot of these album covers, you'd never heard of the artists. Somehow they got a one-shot deal with an album, and it's just as cheesy as can be. It could be a country band, and they're all in the same leisure suit, hanging out of an 18-wheeler with one guy,
the collar outside of the jacket. The collar's outside of the jacket.
Yes. And the lead singer behind the wheel, So I joined it, and we were talking about it on the air a couple of days ago. And I went on Facebook today, and someone said, I just joined this worst album covers of all time group. I heard about it on the radio. I went, wow. And then the next person said, I heard it on the radio. And the next person said, I heard it on the radio too. And I joined it. And he was right. It was so fun. It has to be us. Who
Nobody else is talking about album covers.
Nobody else is. It was us.
Nobody.
It was us. And I don't know why. I mean, right now there are tens of thousands of people who are joining us. And God, thank you so very much. Why did I get excited about that silly, stupid thing on Facebook? I can't figure that out.
Visual confirmation of something, people are listening, but it's a visual way to confirm it.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
It is.
So one of
Amy Wyman, yes, I am a camper. I'm camping right now. So yes, I'm a camper.
Well, there's camping.
Okay, I'm glamping right now because I could be a camper, but my smoking hot wife is a glamper. There is no camper with her. It's a glamp. This is the minimum. And Bob, this is a pretty good sized camper. I mean, it's a 30-foot, 2 slide outs, blah, 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 blah. This is the minimum. After looking at 500 campers in Atlanta last year, or whatever time we went, this was the minimum. This was it. I couldn't do anything less because my wife.
That's not a camper. That is a luxury RV.
A camper.
I don't care what you say. You can be from Georgia, you can be from back hills in Alabama, but I know how you dress. I know look what you're drinking. You're drinking an expensive drink. You are not putting your ass in something that's right behind a vehicle that is just a couple of sleeping bags. That's a camper to me. You are in a luxury R freaking V.
I think I'm a bougie redneck. I mean,
Smoking Hot Wife raised your standard of living. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe before her you would have been a camper or a tent guy, but now
she likes some nice shit. I'm gonna go ahead and say.
I'm a bougie redneck. I mean, there's your book right there. Yeah. Or a magazine that you could put out or something.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That is great. The first album of the worst album covers of all time that really got me hooked. I forget the guy's name, but I think we talked about it on the air maybe a little bit. It's this guy, and I think it was in the 1960s. And he's got a pencil thin mustache, and he's got thinning hair pushed right back, slicked, right?
Yeah.
And he's sitting at a piano, kind of looking this way. And there's an expression, tickling the ivories, because piano keys used to be made of ivory. Thank God they're not anymore. And he's leaning in. And it's his name. I forget his name. Let's say it's, I don't know, Joe Hudson. Old Tickle Fingers.
No.
Is there a woman anywhere who wants to tell their mother that they're dating Old Tickle Fingers? Actually, their mother may want to meet him. I don't know. I could be wrong on that whole thing. I don't know.
I have some very understanding. I have an understanding grandma. I have very understanding family. I think if I introduced her to Old Tickle Fingers, she would disown me.
Anyway, it's the worst album covers of all time. Look it up. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Some of it is not all that great, but some of them are just absolutely hood. And Max found one of the guys, I forget his name, that I was talking about. He had a hell of a voice. There are so many people out there that are very, very talented, but either they can't write songs, or they didn't get a good break, or they don't look like, they could be marketed or whatever.
Tiffany Dawn says Old Tickle Finger sounds like an awesome mafia name. He could be a murderer. He'd be Tickle Fingers.
Yeah.
You'd almost have to be a murderer with a name like
You're going to be reviewing on when is it? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Speaking of the mafia, what's the
Get Gotti from
Yeah.
Netflix, and it's 3 parts. It's 50 minutes. He was an amazing guy, but don't ever, you can't forget. It's just, he was an amazing guy, but he was a murderer, a killer, an absolute killer. I read a thing after I did the review. I didn't put it in the review, but I read a thing when he was, he finally got sent to prison, and when he was in prison, he bumped into a guy or done something, and the guy punched him in the face and put him in the infirmary.
Really?
And one of the gangs in prison, I don't know, I think it was the Skinheads, or it was somebody, I don't know, the Aryan Nation or somebody, they got paid $150,000 to kill that guy. And
by another probably
from the outside family. Yeah, part of the Gotti people. Because he made the phone call and he said, I want this guy dead. $150,000, and he died.
Wow.
Just like, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this before. When his son, who ran slam out in front of a car, the guy had no possible way to stop, and he ran over him. He was completely exonerated. There was nothing he could have been done. It was 100% the kid's fault. He ran right out in the road, got hit, and he just disappeared.
Yeah, gone forever.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the fascination that we have.
It is fascinating, and it's wrong. We've also talked about this, and I'll talk about this a little bit too in the review. The Sopranos. The reason The Sopranos was such a great show, it was based, 2 things make it so great. It was based on the mob, but they made him like a regular husband and father that has the same. He's running a dynasty of criminal things. He can snap his fingers and somebody is dead. But yet his wife can give him crap. He cannot control his children. He has every possible problem that every dad has. No matter what, every accountant, he has the same problems as an accountant. But he is a mob boss who can kill people just by saying he needs to be gone. But he cannot handle all the problems at home. We loved him. But every once in a while, probably, Bob, maybe you agree or disagree, every 6th or 7th episode, they would do an episode that would remind you that he was a bloodthirsty killer.
Without a doubt.
Care about anything. And he would kill. And as you were sitting there going, he is so cool. But he would kill me in a second if I got in the way of him making $1.
Well, I mean, he killed in the show. He killed family members.
Yes,
he killed family members.
Yes,
it was just the way it was.
It's a different world. It's a different world.
Yeah, I know. All right, so you like it? You like the Gotti thing? Three episodes.
I can't say. You have to tune in for the review. I may hate it. It may be the worst thing ever. But if you want to know, you got to tune in.
I'm looking, and thank you all very much. People seem to like my sweater tonight. I don't think I've ever worn this.
I've seen a lot. They all think it's Carolina blue. Is it Carolina blue? Is that what it's for, or no?
I didn't buy it for that, although my one of my daughters went to graduate school there. I don't know. I just bought it.
It looks good. It looks good on you. That's a great color.
I pulled it out tonight because it's been kind of chilly. It's just become fall. And I realized I looked into I have one drawer for sweaters. I don't have that many clothes anymore. I just don't need them, especially since COVID. Like I got rid of some stuff and then I was living, like we all were, well, not all of us, but many of us, with t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts during the winter, short sleeve t-shirts during the summer for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And I just realized I really don't need to buy any more clothing because I've got a bunch of clothing that I had before COVID that's still in style. And I haven't worn them in 3 years. I got this great shirt. It's a navy blue shirt and it's flannel with like banker stripes. I mean, it is a cool shirt.
Ooh, I
I've
like
had
the
it
sound
for
of it.
4 years. I've worn it once. Why would I go out and buy more clothes just for the sake of buying clothes?
See, that's a man thing. It's a completely different deal. I have how many pairs of shoes do you have, Bob?
Let me just answer somebody. Bob, are you wearing makeup? I am not. No, I'm not. You think I would look like this with makeup? No, I am not wearing makeup. How many shoes do I have? I have probably 15 pairs of shoes. Most of them are like sports sneaker shoes.
I probably have 10. I probably have 10.
Yeah.
I have a nice dress shoe in black and a nice dress shoe in brown. I have a pair of boots. They're actually Georgia boots. They're work boots, but I don't do any work in them. I wear them with jeans in the wintertime. And then I've got a couple of different tennis shoes. I mean, I don't have, I mean, men are very, that's all I don't need, there's no point in me having any more shoes.
Right.
Carla, when listen, we are camping. We are camping. We're going to a wedding. Okay. Now here's what I brought for shoes. I wore tennis shoes up because I got to set up the camper and blah, 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 blah. I've got to go to the wedding. So I've got a pair of black dress shoes.
Right.
Now, we're probably going to do some sort of, I don't know, brewery crawl or something like that. So I brought my nice boots. I'm good to go.
Right.
Carla's probably got 12 to 13 pairs of shoes.
With her?
Yes, we're going to be here for 4 days. And most of that is sitting here at this campsite. But just in case something pops up, how does Mary travel with shoes? Does she just carry a couple? No. Carla carries 12 to 14 pairs of shoes everywhere we go.
We went
If
for
we go overnight, there's 14 pairs of shoes. We've got a bag with shoes in it.
Mary doesn't carry 14 pairs of shoes, but we were overnight visiting the grandchildren not long ago. She carries probably 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. She carries special socks for walking on the carpet in the hotel room. And she carries her own 2 pillows and her own blanket.
Carla carries
guess who hauls that crap up, by the way?
You do.
Yeah.
When we travel, whether we're traveling for 2 days or a week and a half, we carry a box fan. We carry a box fan with us everywhere we go. Doesn't matter. We carry a box fan, a 12-inch box fan.
A box what? I don't know.
A fan, a box fan.
Oh, a fan. Yeah.
A fan. We sleep with the box. We sleep with the fan every night. That fan is on.
Why don't you get a sleep machine?
Oh, we got all that, but it's not the same as a fan because the fan makes the noise and it generates wind.
Oh, I see.
If we go somewhere, if we fly somewhere, we stop at Walmart, we buy a box fan and we use it and we leave it.
I don't like wind on me when I'm sleeping.
Oh God, what are you talking about?
No.
I have to have wind on me the whole time I'm sleeping, and Carla does too. We have to have wind. Wind has to be in the bedroom.
It dries out your eyes. I don't like that.
They're closed. I'm asleep. You can't dry out my eyes. They're closed. I close them when I sleep. I don't sleep with my eyes open. No.
It dries out your mouth. You know your mouth is open all night long.
I've got a CPAP machine, so it doesn't matter what happens there. So it doesn't matter. We love a fan. So we carry that.
My wife
no matter
does
what.
too. Mary does too. I bought her an expensive fan. What do you call the Dyson fan? You know?
No, are you kidding me? Did you buy one of those?
Yeah. Oh, I bought
It's
2.
ridiculous.
I
I'd be
bought 2.
embarrassed to say that.
I gave them to her for
you're
her
a
birthday.
1%. You're a 1% person. If you own a Dyson fan, you're a 1% person. That
Really?
is, I've always wanted one.
Oh,
Those things are ridiculous.
They're fantastic.
Does it work? Does it work?
Oh yeah. I bought her one for her birthday for her office, and then I bought her one for the bedroom. But the deal is that it's aimed at her and not me. I don't like that on me at all.
So how much air does it generate?
Plenty. And it's so weird because it's just this sphere.
It's a hoop.
You know?
It's a hoop.
It's like
It's
a loop.
hoop.
And somehow the air comes out. Now it's very pricey, but once again,
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
She agreed to marry me, so I have to in some way,
I think I need to buy my wife a fan like that.
She would love if you got that for her. If you got her one of those Dyson fans, and let me tell you what, they cost a little bit.
Oh, I know. They're Costco has them. They're ridiculous. I've had cars that cost less than that.
I know.
It's been
but it is such when I gave it to her, it's such a what?
A hair dryer.
What about a hair dryer?
Dyson makes a hair dryer.
Oh yeah.
It's like $400.
I bought it.
You've got the Dyson hair dryer?
For her last Christmas. That was her gift last Christmas. Have you seen Mary's hair? Mary's hair, she could play Rapunzel in a play. Her hair, it's her thing. It's totally her thing. And so I found that Dyson, thing. I'm kind of
does she love the hair dryer? I need to know, does she love the hair dryer?
Not as much as the fan.
The fan. So the fan, if you're going, because I've got a Dyson vacuum cleaner, because let me go ahead and say, the Dyson vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, they're great.
That's the deal. That is the deal. I would not be without the Dyson vacuum cleaner.
Folks, if you're just joining us, I know it's sexy time for you tonight. Sherry Lynch is she's turning probably her head is spinning around right now. She
It could be worse. We're not talking about Corvettes. We're not
talking about Corvettes. We're not, I wasn't you, but I was on the air when she was off once. This is years and years ago. And I think it was just Max and me, and it might have been Todd. Anyway, it was 3 guys. And it got real
guy stuff.
Yeah. And we started talking about Corvettes. That's why I brought up Corvettes. Like, what's the best Corvette? Well, mine was it was, I've seen guys with these. They're usually older guys, and they look really cool. 62 Corvette with the shell, probably red with a white shell and white interior. That went on. Someone called her and said, "You have to stop this."
Well, my phone's not ringing yet, so
listen, Bob, I want you to stop
Yeah.
and think about this. At the opening of this thing, we talked about, Sherry's not here. We're gonna get wild. Our part of wild is talking about Dyson fans and hair dryers.
Isn't that sad?
Ceramic knives. And she's got us so trained. Even when we go wild.
Are you talking about Sherry?
Yes, she's got us trained.
She does.
We're trained. There's nothing to stop us from talking about football or baseball or Corvettes or just every possible thing. And we're talking about ceramic knives, slicing tomatoes. We're talking about Dyson vacuum cleaners.
I want my life back. All right, let's talk about sports for a second. I watched like 4 innings of the World Series. It's over. Texas Rangers won. First time they've ever won. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't care this year.
Here's the problem. It's the first time they won and nobody's paying attention.
They're not. Why is that?
That's sad.
I mean, they are in Texas. Does it take the Yankees versus the Red Sox for people to get really excited?
Yeah. Yes.
Baseball's more exciting now. I mean, they changed some things that they do. They made it speedier. The mound is different. It was when I watched, it was fun to watch. It's just I don't identify with the Texas Rangers, I guess is what it is. Maybe if I was
My problem with baseball, is I don't like to watch it on TV, but I love to attend a game. Now, when you're at a baseball game,
yeah.
it's cool. It's very cool. It's very cool. So, I mean, Carla and I took the kids and went to a couple of Braves games over the years. And being at the game, it's fantastic. And there's something about this is not going to make any sense to anybody that's not whatever. But when I'm sitting in the stadium and I'm looking at the field and the grass, it feels I'm looking through a Viewmaster.
I can't believe you just said that because
it's so picturesque. It's so
that's
picturesque
what I was going to say.
Yes. You know what I'm saying when I say Viewmaster, how it looks.
I hadn't been in a major league baseball stadium in years and years and years since I was like 10 years old. My father took me to 2 games at Yankee Stadium. So finally, I go back with some friends and we get in the subway and we go to the old Yankee Stadium. This is years ago. And, I was kind of excited about it. That the subway going by the outfield of Yankee Stadium for just a couple of seconds, it opens up as you're going by and you can see in. And I looked over and I went, oh, and it was the grass.
Yes.
The perfect, beautiful grass that is just magnificent.
And they cut it in a certain way with the square.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable what they're able to do. Yeah. It's awesome to be there.
Well, I hope baseball does continue to be. It's not the national pastime anymore. The national pastime now is video games. But I hope that it does continue to have younger people that come up and play it. I know there was a lull in the popularity of it, but there is something wonderful. And some of it for me, I guess, is nostalgia. I can remember my folks taking me to Maine in the summertime. And, we'd be on this little beach in Sebago Lake. And then in the afternoon, you'd be kind of tired because you're out in the sun. And they'd put on a game. And it was probably a Red Sox game. And you just hear that sound of the crowd in the background. And you hear the announcers and a crack of a bat once in a while. And it's very deliberate. And I can just remember as a kid with a book in my hand, like a Hardy Boys book, on this little swing and just dozing off to the sound of Major League Baseball. And it was just the most beautiful nap or sleep that you could possibly get.
Well, I can imagine. We've got something very exciting about baseball going on in where I live in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We are building a stadium downtown for like a farm team for Major League Baseball.
Great.
I mean, I'm talking downtown. We're building.
That's the way to do it.
Because Greenville did it. And
Charlotte did it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it's crazy. They actually had a ceremony this week. Carla went to it. She's got a little thing of dirt and whatever. And so they did a ribbon cutting and everything. And they're getting ready to do this downtown. And when they did it in Greenville, South Carolina has probably one of the best downtowns ever. For the last 10 years, other states have visited Greenville many, many times to look at their downtown because it was dead and they woke it up. Just like Charlotte. At one time, Charlotte was dead downtown. There's a lot of different big cities, but they had a very great downtown. And then they decided to put a baseball stadium. And I thought, that's ridiculous. You know what? It's not, because it just pulled the rest of the downtown all the way around. Right. And there's just people everywhere. And it's so that's the kind of thing that baseball brings. It brings because they play a lot and you can go see it on multiple days. And,
there's 80 plus games a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
no, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
It's a great thing. It really is.
Well, My goodness, I had such a good time tonight, and thank you to all of you out there.
Yes.
Susan Lane just said, "Bob, remember Crockett Park?" Indeed, I do. Um, Thank you all very much for joining us. I'm sorry that Sheri wasn't here tonight, but
I'm not sorry Sheri wasn't here. Every once in a while, the boys have got to get loose, you know.
right,
And if the loosest we get is talking about chopping onions,
right.
I think we're probably pretty safe.
Patty Murray, Lawrence just said, "I want to see the Savannah Bananas." Mary and I
You
went in the
can't.
spring. They're
Did
great.
you go?
Yeah.
It,
It's a minor league team, but it's not a serious minor league team. They do backflips.
the
It's
waiting list for a ticket is a
yeah.
mile long. You cannot get tickets to see the Savannah Bananas. You can't get them.
Mary went a year out in order to get them.
God.
I wanted, before we leave tonight, thank Heather.
Yes.
I had trouble pulling this up tonight because, we're coming from different locations. She is so patient. She is so talented, not only with the technical part of it, but just running it and
Well,
the
she's also
creative
very
part of it.
talented. She's very talented and gracious for those of us that struggle, and
Right.
she helps us, and that's awesome. And we can't
That's
thank
right.
her enough. We cannot
And
thank her.
that would be you, the person struggling with
I was sort of thinking
technology.
about you, but whatever it makes
We
you
really?
feel better, it's okay.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, dear.
Thank
And
you.
by the way, Heather, the lighting in your apartment or home or wherever you are
It looks
now,
tremendous.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
and I love on the screen the fall
Thanksgiving, fall situation.
stuff that's going on. That's
Turkey
very,
Day's
very
coming.
pretty.
And you know what? I don't have to go to Cracker Barrel this year and sit with all the other single dads. I don't have
Isn't
to.
that a great feeling?
It is awesome. It is. I need to go by Cracker Barrel and go in there and pick one of the single dads and buy their lunch because they're having a tough time.
It's a tough. I took my mother and brother there. I took my mother and brother there one year. I've talked about it on the air, and they ran out of turkey, and it was the saddest.
No.
They ran out of turkey, and it was the
Oh,
saddest
no.
moment I had
On
in years.
Thanksgiving Day,
No,
at the Cracker Barrel, no matter how many seatings they are, it's one person at a table for 4. One person
yeah,
at a table for 2, one person at a table for 12. It's one
right.
person sitting down and having Thanksgiving.
It's this close to being in prison where they give you that turkey that one day. Anyway, Heather, fantastic.
Thank you,
You're
Heather.
going to
Appreciate it.
tomorrow, Lamar. You're going to review the John
Yes.
Gotti thing on
I
Netflix,
am.
right?
And thank everybody that took a moment to hang out with us and make a
Yeah,
comment. Thank you so very much. Thank you. We appreciate
yeah.
it.
Take care, folks. Take care of yourselves. Take care
All
of each
right.
other.
Love
We'll
y'all.
see you on the radio tomorrow.
All right. See you.
Okay, we're